You ready? Opening.
Welcome aboard the Red Friday Podcast, coming at you live and loud from Armed Forces Brewing Company, where every Friday at 6 p.m. we paint the airwaves red in honor of our deployed heroes. It's not just a color, it's a commitment. Red Friday stands as a bold reminder to remember everyone deployed. Here, every Friday, we don our red with pride and raise our glasses high to those who serve. Join your dynamic hosts, Alan and MP, as they weave through the rich tapestry of military tales, engage with captivating guests in the Red Sea, and, of course, delve into the world of exceptional brews crafted right here at Armed Forces Brewing Company. Each episode is a blend of bravery and beers, where we explore the stories behind the brews, the craft of the pour, and the artistry that infuses every pint with a taste of freedom. So whether you're a beer lover, a supporter of our armed forces, or someone who loves a good story with a pint in hand, the Red Friday Podcast is your front row seat to inspiration, celebration, and our nation's unwavering resolve. Gear up, pour out, and tune in to the Red Friday Podcast. Wear your red, savor the brews, and join us in a salute to the courage that inspires us all.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Red Friday Podcast. Alan and MP. MP's coming to the studio here. Man, do we have some incredible guests. And he is one of the busiest men in America right now. And I'll tell you what, our guest, he's the former director of ICE, MP.
That's right.
And I'll tell you what, I think right now he's the CEO and President of Border911. Ladies and gentlemen, we have obviously a huge crisis here in America at the border. We don't like seeing the videos, especially what has happened in El Paso, MP. Can you believe that? That was crazy. So anyway, Armed Forces Brewing Company is teaming up with Border911. We're going to give you some more details on all that. But our first guest today on the Red Friday Podcast probably had, he's probably the best federal official ever to testify before congressional committees. And I think 70% of America stood up and went, yes! When he testifies before a congressional panel. I know I did. We're going to bring him into the studio here in just 1 second. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Tom Homan, former ICE director, is coming in the studio here in just a second. When he was, going on YouTube and watch him testify before Congress. He doesn't take any shit from anyone, and he tells it how it is in America. That's what we love about him, especially his back and forth with some of the people on these congressional panels from one side of the aisle. And I'm kind of referring to his exchange with Washington Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. I think America stood up and went, yes, somebody telling the truth and fighting for Americans. Anyway, let's bring him on into the studio. There he is. Former ICE Director, CEO and President of Border911, Tom Homan. Tom, how are you?
Tom, how are you?
Doing all right. On the road, traveling.
Yep.
Right now, where am I? I'm in
Illinois, and I'll be heading to New York. No, I go to Chicago tomorrow, then New York the day after, then hopefully go home for a couple of days.
Wow. So, Tom, did you hear that introduction that I was talking about? Yeah. Did you get to hear it?
Yeah, all those YouTube, people walk up in the airport and they know me more from YouTube than I do as the ICE director. And look, I didn't go to Congress looking for a fight, but I wasn't going to run away from one. And I'm sick and tired. The only one under oath in that room was me. They're not under oath. They can say anything they want, and I wasn't going to have it. So, I'll show them the same.
Tom, you're a hero. You're a hero in the voice of people that know the truth. You are. Yeah. I just want to let you know that.
I show them the same respect they showed me. They show me zero respect. I will always defend the men and women of the Border Patrol and the men and women of the ICE. If you attack them, you attack me, then game on.
That's right.
Amen. So, Tom, we're getting on the same team with Border911. So everyone in America knows the crisis going on down at the border, that southern border there. So why and how did you start Border911? Tell our audience all about it.
Well, I woke up this morning to a hit piece about Border911, how I'm being, we're a 501c3 and we can't be political. And I guess people feel I'm too political. So I'm going to clean up my act here today. And look, I started Border911 for one reason, because I wake up every day pissed off about what's happening at that border. And look, we got record illegal immigration, record sex trafficking of women and children, record migrant deaths, record U.S. citizen deaths with fentanyl. The criminal cartels in Mexico killed more Americans than any terrorist organization. We got a record no suspected terrorists crossing the border. And there was a secure border, the most secure border in my lifetime.
Right.
So I decided I'm going to start Border911, and we're going to educate the American people about why border security matters, so they make the right decision when they go to the voting booth. They need to know that border security matters, and it's just not about illegal immigration anymore. I understand illegal immigration has always been very emotional, very very controversial. I get it. But when you cause a crisis this big, that's when all the other bad stuff happens. So illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. I want people to understand that the tragic circumstances of our border. I think right now our border is the biggest national security vulnerability I've seen since 9/11, and I mean that.
Yeah. It's so porous right now. We get the statistics. Everybody's watching the news. There are a ton of journalists down there covering this now, thank God. And you've developed this panel of the most knowledgeable strategists on border security in the country. You have. And you've got some events that you guys are holding around the country to bring this awareness and talk about policy and talk about the statistics and talk about the danger and the national security threats. Your first event is at Mar-a-Lago on April 4th. Tell us about that. Tell us about the more events that are coming on and who's all on the panel.
Well, look, I've been doing. I started in Border Patrol in 1984. I was the first director of ICE that actually came up through the ranks. So the 20,000 men and women that work for me, I didn't ask them to do anything. I didn't do myself. I came up to the rank, right? I wore that badge. So when I wake up every day pissed off about this border, and when I started Border911, I said, okay, who can I bring on the team? Well, I brought the team where I think some of the smartest border security experts in the world. You got Mark Morgan, who's a CBP commissioner in 20 years in the FBI. He understands not only cross-border crime, he understands the drug cartel activity, and certainly the terrorism threat. I got Jason Jones, who retired as a captain from the Texas DPS, and he spent 2 decades studying the criminal cartels in Mexico. No one knows more about criminal cartels in Mexico than Jason Jones. Then I brought on Derek Moss. Derek Moss was the director of DEA Special Ops. So he retired as the director of the Special Ops. The man knows drug smuggling. He goes around the country right now talking about the fentanyl scourge and how many Americans are dying from the drug that's coming across the border there. And I brought, who am I forgetting now? Rodney Scott. Rodney Scott started like me. He started as a Border Patrol agent. He stayed in the Border Patrol and he became the national chief of the United States Border Patrol. I decided to go to the criminal investigator section and become a special agent. So again, I don't think there's a better team out there. I always say, people always, after this border chaos happened, all these people coming out of the woodwork. They're experts on border security. And I said to myself, okay, well, that's like calling yourself an expert plumber. You never plumbed anything. So I brought who I thought were experts because they did the job. Everybody but Sarah Carter, who's on her team, every one of the team members, we wore a gun and badge. We arrested illegal aliens. We put criminal cartels in prison. We did multi-pronged Title III investigations. We created the most successful policies ever on security of the border. So we're experts because we did the job and we were on the ground. So I'm looking forward to the April 4th event. It's a fundraising event, and every dollar we make is toward operations. No one on my present team has taken a paycheck. They're pretty much volunteers. We're raising money so we can travel around the country, have huge events, and talk to the American people on why border security matters. And I hope it makes a difference in their lives, so they'll make the right decisions when they have to make the decisions.
So, Director, everybody can go to border911.com. They can buy tickets to the Mar-a-Lago event on April 4th. You guys are going to have a schedule of more events that we're going to be holding all over the country to bring awareness to this border security issue. And we've got a Texas event as well coming up the week after on April 12th. We're all going down to Eagle Pass, aren't we, Director?
You know what? And that was your brilliant idea. And I thought, I mean, that is a brilliant idea. We're going down there. The men and women, first of all, Governor Abbott, he's a rock star. A lot of people say, well, he could do more. Look, Governor Abbott's done more to secure this border than anybody else in this country.
Yeah.
And the men and women of the National Guard, the men and women DPS are doing a great job there. Look, at Eagle Pass, they got illegal immigration down over 70%. Why? Because one, they built barriers. So apparently barriers do work. And number two, they got a consequence. You're going to be arrested. You're going to be jailed. So they're working their butts off down there. And I always say that the men and women down there at the Border Patrol, the National Guard, the Texas DPS, they're some of the finest people in this nation, in addition to those who serve in our military. And it's right to go down there and salute them and feed them and celebrate with them for the great work they do. So I'm looking forward to that event, because I've said it many, many times that the men and women down there that strap a gun to their hip to defend this nation, they deserve our respect. They deserve our appreciation. So I'm looking forward to going down there with you and doing exactly that. They deserve it.
Hey, Matt, for those of you who are listening and don't know, we're partnered with Border911. Armed Forces Brewing Company. We're going to go down to Eagle Pass together, and we're going to feed about 850 Texas and Florida National Guard folks, along with some state police folks. And Director, I hope you come down.
I will be there, because I want to shake the hands of the men who are trying to secure a border and save lives. A secure border saves lives. I want to go down there and shake as many hands as I can. Just say thank you.
Well,
and maybe drink a beer. Maybe drink a beer.
Yeah, there you. Well, we got to ask you that. What's your favorite style of beer? Do you have a favorite at all? We are a beer company.
You're not going to want to hear my answer to that.
That's all right.
I grew up milking cows. I grew up listening to Merle Haggard and Waylon Jennings,
yeah,
and drinking Past Blue Ribbon. And I still drink Past Blue Ribbon. But look,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to drinking your stuff. And I was told it's very good. So you know what? You could change Homan for the better. We'll wait and see.
Wait till you taste this. We're bringing this down. We're bringing this beer down. It's called Preamble, We the People. It's that light session lager that you'll like. It's got great flavor to it. Super smooth. I think you'll like it.
Is it like an amber?
No. It's like that really light lager. It's your domestic alternative.
All right.
Look,
I'm looking forward to it. Look, you guys are on the right side of the issue. You're doing a great job down there. So, hey, look, I'm willing to try anything. If I like it, I'll throw PBR out the window. But let's give it a shot.
Awesome. Well, we're excited.
As some kid that grew up milking cows, you had to drink a beer. You could buy a 6-pack for $3. I mean, that's the reason we grew up on it. because you're milking cows, you're not making a lot of money.
Well, we're excited
Roger that,
to
sir.
with
Roger
Border
that.
911 and get to Mar-a-Lago on the 4th and down to Texas on the 12th. We're partnering with not Border 911. Together, we're going to feed 850 Texas National Guard and Florida National Guard, state police, and whoever else is down there from law enforcement, securing and protecting America. So, Director, thanks for coming on.
So let me verify something. I'm being told that you're going to build a beer wall at Mar-a-Lago. Is that true?
We are. We're going to build.
Yes, sir.
We are. We're building a wall of beer.
That's right.
So folks, come down the Border 911, get your picture taken next to a wall of beer. I know I'm going to. I've never taken my picture next to a wall of beer. Now I'm going to.
Build the wall. Get your picture taken in front of the wall with Director Tom Homan.
Yes, sir.
Tom, thank you so much. I know you're busy as hell. Thank you so much.
I got to walk down the hall and give a speech to a group of people here. And I'm going to keep spreading the word. They will not shut me up. I give you my word. I will not be shut up. This is the biggest national security crisis this nation is seeing. And something's coming. Something's coming. And we got to shut it down. So looking forward to working with you. Looking forward to the wall of beer. And looking forward to eating some barbecue down there in South Texas.
Thank you, Tom, so much.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
sir.
all you do for America.
You got it, man. Thank you.
All right. Nice job by Tom Homan. Wow, MP. That was awesome. That was great.
That's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Why don't
All right.
I think we're going to show them a nice little pharma bug video. I think that's the one. That's the best one we got.
Let's go
We'll
to
take a little break
commercial.
real quick.
Here you go.
There were days when everything I saw on TV was so negative about America. It was really depressing.
Going on the internet didn't help. It was like nobody online loved our country either.
I knew it wasn't true, but everywhere I looked, they tried to convince me everything America stands for is bad.
I just wanted all this negativity to go away.
Then, our doctor told us about something that could help. A company that loves America. Armed Forces Brewing Company.
Our doctor told us they brew great tasting beer to tribute our incredible American troops and veterans. And they do it all right here in America.
Our doctor said we can invest in this great American brewery for just $200.
Our doctor said they help veterans and their families.
They made me feel patriotic again and reminded me that people on TV and the internet who say bad things about our country are a bunch of f***ing assholes.
Armed Forces Brewing Company reminded me there are a lot of great things going on in our country.
Investing in Armed Forces Brewing Company is not for everyone. Tell your doctor if you have communist tendencies, if you are sleeping with a Chinese spy, if you have ever watched The View, if you love taking your 5-year-old child to drag shows, or if your name is Karen.
If you're tired of people who hate America, ask your doctor if investing in Armed Forces Brewing Company is right for you.
If you have an erection that lasts more than 4 hours after investing in Armed Forces Brewing Company, congratulations.
Welcome back, everybody.
On the Red Friday podcast. MP, how's it going today?
We're doing good. We're doing great. We're happy to be here.
So let's dive into some stuff here on the beer side. Right now, we're live streaming from our brewing facility on stage in our beer hall and tap room in Norfolk, Virginia. Got a nice crowd here. Lots of law enforcement officers here. We've got a huge event going on. MP, tell us, give more information on the event tomorrow. I mean, we're going to have 500 or 600 law enforcement officers in here tomorrow.
Yeah, they're all coming from all over Virginia. I think it's going to be Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake. I think some others from around Suffolk possibly. We have a new beer on tap right now called Blue Stripe IPA, specifically for police officers. And I think we're gonna show our appreciation as much as we can tomorrow and every day. Not just military, but first responders as well. They're defending us on the home front. in the cities and states that we live in. So the least we can do is give them a tribute with some beer.
Amen. And that's tomorrow. Doors open at 11 o'clock, and we're rolling. That's Blue Stripe. It's an IPA. Blue Stripe IPA on draft, on special tomorrow. Got another delicious beer going on in the tap room. I couldn't get away from it last weekend.
Oh my God!
Yeah, man. It's called Embrace the Puck.
Embrace the Puck.
Embrace the Puck.
Right,
Embrace
the raspberry sour. A delicious raspberry sour. We just got that on tap last week. Now we're making a full announcement. You guys are hearing it first here on the podcast, so you guys got to come on down and try it. It's probably the best sour in the city, to be honest.
I'm telling you, it is incredible. Our guys, our team of brewers, they're incredible. Absolutely incredible. Anyway,
real quick, I'm looking in the comments here. Somebody we might know by the name of Pam saying that Preamble is way better than PBR.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
We're in that educational process right now. You know, we're a little bit of the new guy on the block that's doing huge things, and we're going to convert all those drinkers over to Preamble, the people light session lager. Let me tell you, MP is our chief marketing officer. Okay, and getting him going on some of the rebranding or repackaging. Look at this. This is our new 19.2 ounce Preamble skip. This is going into Norfolk Tides concessions. Okay, and it's just a super cool can. This is it's that light session, any day, anytime beer. And when you get into development of these cans that we have, I'm grabbing another one. The Grunt, which is our camo can, Grunt double IPA. We take like really big pride and a lot of time on developing these labels and everything. And like when a kid gets a new toy, they like sleep with their new toy. MP goes to bed, he's got the cans by his pillow.
Every night. They are my pillows.
They're so incredible. So ribbing you a little bit. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, so we got some pretty big announcements coming up with NASCAR. I think we're going to be giving away some tickets at some point to Talladega. That's April. Our race is April 21st down in Talladega, Alabama. There'll be some more news on that coming out shortly. And then obviously, if you were close to the tap room, you can come down here and get a chance to win some Norfolk Tides tickets. We'll be doing that all season long. Yeah, we're just really excited. We got a lot of new things coming out, new beers that are soon to come out that we haven't released yet. They're working on it in the lab back there. Big things. NASCAR, Norfolk Tides. We're going to be at here local here in Virginia Beach. We're doing Bulls and Barrels Rodeo.
Beach Rodeo. They do beach rodeo here in Virginia Beach. Bulls and Barrels. There's a monster truck event that we're doing. Monsters on the beach. And then the Virginia Jeep event as well.
Oh, yeah, quick comment.
Like three big events.
Yeah, Roger, I see your comment here. Where in Alabama are you? You can go to our website and go to the beer locator on there and type in your zip code and see where the closest place is to where you can buy our beer. And that's one big thing, guys. We're expanding in distribution. We're getting into new states, new territories in the states that we're in now. We just opened North Carolina. We're in Ohio. We're going to be opening South Carolina soon, Florida. Guys, go to our website, armedforcesbrewingco.com. Click on beer locator, type in your zip code. And if you can't find the beer where you are, let your local establishments know. Let your supermarkets know. Let your on-premise, your restaurants, your bars, let your chains know that you want to buy our beer. And they'll let the distributors know. We'll get it to you.
Yeah, another milestone in this company. We hit over 10,000 shareholders in our company right now. There's 10,000 plus people that own the company with us, that own this brewing facility, and that have helped us grow. They're incredible people. About 95% of our shareholders are active duty and veterans and law enforcement and come from military families. It's just an incredible group. And we had a great grand opening with our shareholders coming down and partying with us, seeing their new brewing facility. And if you want to invest, the minimum buy-in's $200. You can go to www.ownarmedforcesbrewingco.com and own it with us and come along for this incredible journey we're on of growth. I mean, Walmart, Publix, and Winn-Dixie's, and Food Lions, and Kroger's picking us up now as well. I mean, Carnival Cruise Lines, they're putting our beer in 18 ships.
18 ships at the Heroes Bar. We're going to be getting them 16-ounce preamble cans going on the Carnival cruise ships, 18 of them. That's going to be huge. If you guys are out there and you're on these cruise ships or you see us, if you see our beer out in public places, just do us a favor and snap a picture with them and send it in. We will definitely love that. What do we got here? We got a comment from Smitty, Death from Above. Yeah, that's
Smitty.
That's my favorite beer. That's an Air Force beer. That's why it's the best. I got to be honest with everybody. We brewed that as a robust coffee porter. We might do a summer session of that, like a cold brew coffee porter.
Oh my God.
I think that would be pretty. I think that would be pretty badass.
I get more emails from shareholders about the coffee porter, and Smitty knows this. When we went to the Army Navy game, when we went to the Army Navy game a couple years ago, it was like freaking 11 degrees in Philadelphia. We were with the Americans in Wartime Experience guys from the tank farm, and we all went up to Philly, and it was freezing cold. I remember it because we had drove all the way up there, and it takes a lot to put together the tent, and the activation, and all that kind of stuff. Got up at probably 4 in the morning. I think we all had coffee and donuts or something, and went over to the stadium by 7, I think, and set up. We finally got set up at about 9 o'clock, 9:30, something like that, and the festivities start. And Bob had brought a keg of Death from Above that he made in his Mac Daddy home brewing deal, man cave basement that he has in his house. He brought up a whole half roll keg of it.
Okay.
And we got ready, and before you know it, people were congregating at our tent. And I think it must have been, Smitty can correct me because he was there, but I think by about in between 11:30 or 1 o'clock, that keg was drained. It was gone. There wasn't any Death from Above coffee porter left. It was gone.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Mike's in here too. He knew he was there. Yeah. So City drank all the Death from Above.
Didn't you guys put in like 10 cases or something into a stadium and it was gone in like the first quarter? What was that? Cat shot?
Yeah. So we got our beer into Navy Marine Corps Stadium, and for all the home games, we sponsored Navy football, and I think they ordered 30 cases the first game of Special Hops. It was Special Hops IPA.
Special Hops.
It was gone. It wasn't even. Matter of fact, there was one game when Rob O'Neill went, and we were walking in the stadium. They were just getting ready to kick off the game, and we went down. Let's see, we went through like the perimeter of the stadium to go to all the different beer, places they had set up, and nobody had Special Hops. It had already sold out. We got the last like 2 at this end beer stand. We got the last two, and that was amazing. What an amazing feeling, I guess you would say that. But that was great. They just kept upping the orders and upping the orders for Navy football. Good stuff. And it was super cool to go into Navy Stadium and sit there and watch everybody drinking your beer. It's pretty cool. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I want to show you guys something else that we've been cooking up over here. It's not beer. It's something additional to beer. And it's right here. It's called Grunt Jerky. You guys see this? You guys see Grunt Jerky? We have it in 2 flavors right now. We have it in original, and we have it in teriyaki. It's a gourmet brisket jerky, super soft. And you can buy it here right now in the tap room, and hopefully we'll be able to push that into other retail outlets. And that pairs greatly with our Grunt Double IPA. If you guys don't know, we just bumped up the ABV on this from 9 to 9.5. And I think that's what the people want. That's what the people are going to get. Yeah, so we're super excited. You're going to start seeing our beers in more convenience stores, more 7-Elevens, all out, because the 19.2 tall boys is what people want, and we're starting to put our beers in them.
Yeah, look at Smarty Pants here. Any bugs in that jerky?
Just brisket bugs.
Brisket.
Although when we came out with that bug video, there was it a brewery around here or something? They got upset because they put grasshoppers in their beer, or their beer's grasshopper. It's called grasshopper.
I think they had a beer named Grasshopper. Some beer named Grasshopper. So they thought that video was about them, and we didn't even know who they were. It had nothing to do about them. We were poking fun at the eating bugs thing going on in America.
There it is. Oh, I apologize if I offended you in the grasshopper beer. Patience grasshopper. I meant no harm. But yeah, so we're doing a lot of big things. You know what? Why don't we show them that bug video that we're talking about? I think that's a good idea. Let's play the bug video for them.
All right, let's do the bug.
Maybe it's time to swap burgers for bugs.
Eating insects for the good of the planet.
Why don't humans eat more bugs?
UN agency urges eating insects to fight world hunger.
You will eat the bugs!
I'm starting to get a little worried about eating bugs.
I don't want to eat spiders. I can't even sleep because I keep thinking about it.
How is eating insects going to help the climate?
Why does everyone in the media suddenly want me to start eating bugs?
If you're concerned about having to give up the food you love and being forced to eat bugs, we have some great news. Ask your doctor about Armed Forces Brewing Company beer. Armed Forces Brewing Company's beer is 100% bug-free.
I read the label. There isn't a single dragonfly in any of their delicious beers.
Armed Forces Brewing Company's beer is made from the finest hops and other ingredients by an award-winning brewmaster, and it tastes great.
But what about me? I want to save the planet by eating bugs.
Don't worry, you silly hipster. You can still enjoy Armed Forces Brewing Company beer with your bowl of grasshoppers. We don't care what you eat. Ask your entomologist about bug-free beer from Armed Forces Brewing Company.
You will not drink the bugs!
Yeah, they're going to make us eat bugs.
Yeah, so what's up, everybody? Our next guest, Eddie Gallagher, former Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher. I think he's having some technical difficulties, so we'll be here. We'll be talking on the show, and hopefully he can make it on. But we just got a comment in there. You need a beer can design to support military women. Women drink beer. Exactly, and that's something we are working on. That is in my portfolio of things to do. New ideas. We want to do a whole women in the military, women in the warrior, or women warrior beer. We want to do that on tap here, and then we want to get that out to market at some point, because we know that women love beer. They're a big supporter, or they're a big part of the military, the big supporter of military. And they love beer too.
We know they kick ass in the military too.
Toughest people I know. The toughest people I know. I've been on 5, 6 deployments, and some of the women downrange are just some of the most badass women I've met in my life. So, 100%, they deserve all the respect in the world. Yeah. We're working on flavors. You know, we want to figure out what beer do women want to drink. What is that? What is that beer? It doesn't. And we're not limiting ourselves to just one beer. You know, dedicated to women. We can do a mil-spouse beer. We can do a women in the military beer. There's endless opportunities for it. But yeah, and just to piggyback on, Alan's going to town. Yeah, just to piggyback, tomorrow we're doing the law enforcement event. If you missed it earlier, we're doing a big law enforcement event. We just released a blue stripe IPA dedicated to our police officers. Yeah, that's going to play out huge.
See it. Let me look at the comments here. Guys, put some more comments in there. If you want to ask a question, ask a question. We've got a good crowd here Friday.
Yeah, this is kind of an improv show right now, so we're just rolling with it.
Let's see. I'm looking at the comments right.
Oh, here we go. We got one from Shellback Smitty. Here we go. Was a brewery responsible for leaving AFPC out of the CBBA? Now, some people call this a controversial issue. I'm not.
What is?
No, us being not let into the Coastal Virginia Brewing Alliance. There's a question that was asked. To be honest, we don't know what happened. I think it's just a bunch of haters out there that don't want to see us succeed. They're afraid of competition, and you know, they'll do whatever they can to shut us out. That's my opinion. But you know, maybe we'll start our own alliance, and where everybody's welcome, just like at our brewery, right here at Armed Forces Brewing Company. I'll say it: everybody's welcome. If we start a brewing alliance, everybody's welcome. There you have it. We're not gonna pick and prod.
Folks, we got a great diverse crowd here tonight. We've got a great diverse team of people that work here that come from all walks of life. We're not bigots. We're not racists. We're not homophobes. We're not anti-gay, anti-transgender, anti-anything. We're good people, and we've got a great brewing facility here, and you know, we're that military law enforcement tribute beer company.
The only thing we care about is if you're a good person. That's it. If you're a good person, you show respect. That's it.
It's all that matters.
And you gotta like beer too. And you gotta like beer. And if you don't like beer, we do have a non-alcoholic seltzer called Chessie Juice, Black Cherry. And we're working on developing some non-alcoholic beers, as well as moving towards a true zero. That's going to be called About Face, and we're working on that. And that will be one of our flagship non-alcoholics to cater towards the veteran military community who want to still hang out in a crowd of people that drink beer, want to taste, enjoy the beer, but don't want the alcohol in their system. So once again, we want to make sure that everybody's included and we have products for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you know, the non-alcoholic beer, they're just our veterans and people with PTSD that should not be drinking alcohol at all. And we want to dive into that space, and we want to allow all of them to have a beer with us. So we're gonna dive into that space and do some NAs and like you said, we're gonna work to a true zero.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Technology. Okay, guess what? Oh, our next guest. Wow. Former U.S. Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher is in the red seat. What a story. What a career. And what a story Eddie is. This is his book. The Man in the Arena.
Roger that.
Yeah, The Man in the Arena. Amazing book. Amazing book. I got to meet Eddie just like literally a couple years ago, right after a lot of this stuff happened to him. And he's going to come on and tell us the book. You can get this on Amazon. You can get it. Okay, but you got to read this book. It's incredible. And Eddie's gotten out of the service. He's transitioned into civilian life. He's a successful businessman as well, and an outdoorsman. And we're going to hear about his book, The Man in the Arena: From Fighting ISIS to Fighting for My Freedom. They tried to put him in prison. And if you haven't read the articles about that story, you need to get online and Google Eddie Gallagher and see what happened. And he's got it all in this book. And it's incredible. Let's bring him into the studio now. There he is.
Eddie, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how
Eddie,
you doing, man? How you doing?
Hey, thanks for joining the Red Friday podcast, my man.
Hey, thank you for having me on, man. I'm humbled.
Eddie, so, your story made national headlines, and I immediately was horrified, if you want to know the actual word for it, horrified what you were going through. Now, you've written this book right here with Andrea and Andy, and I want you, everyone needs to go out and they need to read this book. They need to go online. They need to know the Eddie Gallagher story. Briefly, just cover your military career real quick, and then let's dive into the book and how what happened to you started. Because it's an amazing story. It's a horrifying story.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Well, thank you for bringing up the book. And I think it's about 3 years old now, and I think that story, when I was writing the book, it was during the beginning of the pandemic, and I knew this was a story that over time more people would be interested in it, because it has to do with government overreach and them taking away rights, thinking that they can do whatever they want. So basically,
huge overreach.
Yeah,
huge overreach.
I served in the U.S. Navy from 1999 all the way to 2019. Started off my career as a medic with the Marine Corps. Was able to go to sniper school. I deployed with the Marines with the invasion of Iraq, and then came back from that and immediately went to BUDS, which is SEAL training. Made it through that, and then I served the rest of my career in San Diego on the West Coast teams. I served in multiple teams, and ended up retiring in 2019, having 8 combat deployments and then 1 non-combat. So I had a very privileged career. I was grateful for all of it. I got to serve among giants. A lot of my heroes are my peers that I served along with. But at the end of my career, I was the TAC lead of a platoon, which is the tactical lead. I was an E7 platoon chief, and we got deployed to Mosul, Iraq, to defeat ISIS, which had a stronghold over it, I think 3 years prior to us getting there. And it was a pretty vicious deployment. It was a lot of work. It was good. But unfortunately, I became the target of a rumorville and came back from that deployment, and I was 8 months later I was charged with premeditated murder of an ISIS terrorist, and I was thrown in prison, military prison, for 9 months before my actual trial. During that time, my family and I drank from a fire hose of just exactly how the government and the media work together to target somebody, and that's exactly what they tried to do with me. But unfortunately for them, they had to go up against my wife, Andrea, and my brother, Sean, who took them on head-to-head while I was locked up. My wife, who had a business in branding and marketing, pretty much used her skills on social media to brand me, I guess, and put the correct story out about what was really going on. And then while she was doing that, my brother, who had some experience at on Capitol Hill as a lobbyist, he was going down there, knocking down doors of Congress, trying to get people to pay attention, which was a harder task than most people think. He got a lot of no's and got a lot of, oh, we don't want to take on the military. But they did not stop fighting each day that I was locked up in a military prison. And, all their work came to fruition. At the end, they finally got the ears and eyes of President Trump at the time, who pretty much tweeted to let me out of prison so I could defend myself before trial, because I was not getting any of the rights that are supposed to be afforded to you before that. So the president got me out of prison. So it was about I would say a month before my actual trial started. So, we spent that last final month preparing for the trial. And we did go to trial and we won. I was found not guilty of everything. They had slapped on 2 other murder charges and a laundry list of other charges on me, which is what they do. They throw spaghetti at the wall. They have no foundation on any of their charges. They just put that out there and hopefully one of them sticks. But the only thing I was found guilty of was taking a picture with a dead body, which was conduct unbecoming of a sailor. But because we defeated the government, because we defeated the Navy, the persecution did not stop there. They came after me all the way until I was able to retire. They tried to take away my retirement even after my trial. They still were targeting me. And, I'll say to this day, thank God that President Trump was in office at the time, because each time they tried to do something, he intervened and pretty much smacked them down. And he actually let me retire with everything that I earned. I think a big misconception that's still out there is that I was pardoned by Trump, which is not true. I went to trial. I faced my accusers, and I got, there was a jury of my peers, and they all decided that I was not guilty of what I was being charged with. So, it was a long 2-year fight, and it is a frustrating and furious story, but at the same time, it's also a story of victory. It shows that, what a strong family can do when they're put up against the corner. And that's exactly what my family did. They fought back and they won.
There's a lot in this book, everybody.
Yeah.
You need to go out and buy it. But here's the big question. Why? Why you? We all know what was going on during COVID and, all the political differences and our government agencies do everything. Why though? Why do you think?
That's a good question, and there's a lot of factors on why they decided to do this and pretty much target me. One of them, I'll say this, that NSW, Naval Special Warfare at the time, which was the command I worked for, was under a lot of scrutiny. We had pretty much shown ourselves to America as like America's heroes, with the Bin Laden raid and all the victories that we had. But I also think all that publicity was also a detriment to the community, because we were pretty much put at the top of this pedestal, and there's only one way to go from there, and that's down. And the media was doing everything they could to point out all the negative aspects of NSW. So anytime anybody got in trouble for a DUI or fighting or popping on a drug test, that was making the papers. So by that time, when my allegations had come across Admiral Green's desk, who was in charge of WARCOM at the time, and this is straight from an officer who was in the office at the time, he looked at my portfolio or my file. He saw that I had a good reputation, that I had been pretty stand-up SEAL up to that point, and he said, use this guy as an example. We're not messing around anymore. We want to make sure that this guy is used as an example, that, we are going to come down on anybody that is, a troublemaker, I guess. And that's as simple as it gets. That's what was told to do. And then from then on, everybody just followed orders. Even if they did not agree with those orders, they still followed them.
But there was blatant corruption, blatant and dishonest corruption in your case by the prosecutorial team whatever you want to call it, in your case. We were reading about it in the news. We were, you've got it in the book, and it's amazing to me why they would even go that route. And, and I remember reading about your wife, divulging all this stuff, exposing all this stuff. I remember reading the articles. That's when I started reading about Eddie Gallagher and your story. So,
yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, you cannot prosecute somebody off a mound of lies and win without cheating and being deceitful, which is what they had to do. They knew early on they did not have a case, but by that time they had already taken so many measures against me. Like one of them is, they raided my house when my wife and me were not home. They pulled my my boys out at gunpoint in their underwear. The whole neighborhood saw what was going on. So they blatantly made all these mistakes. And by the time they found out that the accusers, who was a couple guys in my platoon who were making up these stories, by the time they found out that some of these weren't true, there's one thing the government will never do, and that is admit they made a mistake. So they decided to die on that hill, and they had no choice but to lie, put out half-truths, and just be as deceitful as they can to try and get a win. But unfortunately for them, my wife and my legal team caught them at every turn, and we called it out. So.
Yeah, the first time I heard your story, I read it in the newspaper, but then I caught the Apple docuseries. Were you part of making that, or did they make that about you? Like, did you have a role in that?
I was a part of it. So the line on Apple Plus, I was a part of making that. They had they were knocking down our door from the second that I retired, wanting to do some kind of documentary on it. We had refused a bunch of times because I think my family and I had been through enough with the liberal media, and we were talking about Apple here, so I had no doubt that they were going to skew it in one way. But at the end of the day, I had talked to my legal team, and we all agreed, okay, let's do this. We talked to the Apple people, and we're like, hey, we gave them everything. We gave them all the files, all of the transcripts, all the stuff that the government had against me. And we just asked them that they please do their due diligence in telling the truth. I can say this, we watched that docuseries, and I thought they did a great job. It was entertaining. I thought it was very well done. Obviously, they had to dramatize it a little bit, or else it would be, to catch people's eye. The one thing that I wish they did not do was at the last episode, they tried to say that I admitted to doing it during the interview, and that was complete BS. They had actually edited out my answers, and I caught them on that. But that's the media. That's I guess you just have to take it as it comes. I mean, at the end of the day, I did think they did a good job of telling both sides. And, the feedback I got from a lot of people that watched it, especially other special operators that had watched it, they could see right through it. And they were like, dude, we could see right through the accusers who they were interviewing on there. And so, I'm grateful for that. And, as long as people can, as long as people think critically and can do their own research, they'll see what the truth is.
Well, hopefully we can get to a point in the country where everybody does that, right? Everybody's pretty brainwashed at this point. They believe what they hear, and then that's their opinion. Two quick questions for you, my end. Why do you think the Air Force is the best branch? I'm just messing with you, bro. Just messing with you.
I can actually give you an honest answer on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Air Force is the smartest branch for sure. I got stationed at an Air Force base on one of my deployments, and I'll tell you that was the best living I ever had on a deployment. What they do is when they are forced to build a base somewhere overseas, they're saying, hey, this is how much it'll cost. The government gives them the money. They actually build all of the amenities for the people that work for them first, and run out of money, and then they're like, hey, we need more money to finish off this runway. So they they take care of their individuals that are underneath them, and all the other branches do it the opposite. The individuals that work for them come last. So I do like the way that they operate when taking care of their own.
Yeah.
So Eddie, what do you have now that you're out of the service? You've gone through this horrific deal and you've triumphed on it. What do you got going on now? What are you doing with businesses? You've got several different businesses going, and tell everybody about that.
Yeah, sure. So I got out. I had to sort of figure out what I was going to do. Transition out of the military is not an easy thing, and then especially with what me and my family went through at the end. So, we decided to. I wanted to stay close with my family. I really didn't want to travel for work. I'd done that for the past 2 decades. So, I decided to try the entrepreneur route. I can tell you that I am not a natural entrepreneur. It's a lot of hard work on my end. But I'm glad that I'm doing it. I started the Gallagher Holdings business. I train. I just use my past experiences to help others. So, there's a range here in Defuniak. I'm down here in the Panhandle of Florida. So I work at a range in Defuniak. I teach everything from basic to advanced shooting. I also teach tactics to law enforcement and other DOD units when they come down. I work with a bunch of great guys, a bunch of retired Army and Air Force operators. And then I also made my wife and started a nonprofit, the Pipe Hitter Foundation. Because of what happened to us, we want to make sure that does not happen to other people. So, what the Pipe Hitter Foundation does is we support active duty military, first responders, and law enforcement. If they're being unjustly accused for doing their job, we step in, we raise money for their legal funds. We provide emergency relief aid to their families as they're going through that stressful time. And we will also advocate for them, take to social media and also to the news outlets that we trust, so we can get out there and actually put out the truth. And so far it's been busy the past 4 years, especially for law enforcement. But we've had a great success rate, and that's the one thing I'll say. What we went through was horrific at the time, but it's been a blessing in the long run because we're able to help others that are put in that same position. So that's the.
So we can make a beer called Pipe Hitter and put it on tap here and help raise funds for your organization.
That would be amazing. Yeah, that would be.
You were reading my mind. Reading my mind as he was talking.
We got to do it. Because there's more to the story here. You also have an apparel line as well.
Correct.
And we're going to have it up in our store called the Armory here in the next couple of weeks as well. We're going to be selling Eddie Gallagher's.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm stoked to get it in there. I've been watching what you guys have been doing, getting that brewery up and running, and I just want to say congratulations on getting it done. I know it's not an easy task.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Means a lot.
Also, huh? What did you say?
No, I said it means a lot. I said thank you.
Yeah, totally. Man, I'll tell you what. I met you the first time, you and Andrea at the Bone Frog Open about, I can't remember, it's 22 or 21. I can't remember.
I think it was
just
21.
gotten done with this stuff. You had just gone through all this stuff. And I got to tell you, bro, oh my God. This story is amazing. Everybody needs to go out and get this book and read it. It's incredible. It's triumphant and it's cringe at the same time.
Yeah.
Story, seriously. So we're going to have you back to the brewery as well, hopefully in May, to do a book signing here in the beer hall. We got to get you back. We got to get you back on the show, too.
Definitely. Yeah. And I appreciate your guys' support. I mean, you guys putting the apparel in your store. I appreciate you having me on and supporting the book, man. I'm grateful for all of it. And I'm definitely looking forward to coming up there and meeting you again face to face and just getting drinking a cold one at our brewery for sure.
Oh, and I just wanted you also to know I sent Dan Crenshaw one of those emojis.
Yes. Yeah, good.
Just so you know, I did. Anyway.
Oh yeah,
thank you so much, man.
Yeah. Eddie, before you go, what's your favorite type of beer?
Well, I tell you this. When I was in San Diego, I got hooked on Sculpin. That was my go-to. But I'm not too much of a beer snob, man. I'll drink whatever.
We'll send you some of these. How about that? I'll send you some preambles. The official beer of freedom we got right here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
I'll send you those, and we'll get you going. That's it, man. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much.
Eddie Gallagher, thanks so much, man. We're going to have you back, and can't wait to get your apparel up in the store. And we're going to get you back here for the book signing, okay?
Yeah, buddy. I appreciate that.
Love you and Andrew.
Awesome, man.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the
Have
weekend.
a great weekend.
Wow, Eddie Gallagher, ladies and gentlemen, great America.
What a great show. We had Tom Homan, former ICE director and current CEO and president of Border911.
Derek Maltz, last week. Rob O'Neill the week before that. I mean,
and then next week.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say we wrapped up today with Tom Homan, former Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher. Next week, guys, it's going to be a beer show. We're going to have our chief brewing officer, Bob, Mr. Bob here, and Dale Lazar, our head brewer here. So next week, it's going to be all things beer. We'll sprinkle in some other stuff, but next week will be an exciting show as well.
Yep. So before we go, I want to say one thing, MP. One thing. Again, the NASCAR deal. We are sponsoring NASCAR. That's the Talladega, Richmond, and Homestead, Miami. And the Talladega race is the 21st. We're going to be there the 19th, 20th, and 21st. We're going to do the Red Friday podcast from Talladega that Friday that we're there. And you can win tickets to Talladega, our beers and concessions. We've got an activation spot in the RV in the center of the track. And it's just going to be a great time. This is a great opportunity for us. 110,000 people coming to Talladega for one of America's great traditions, the NASCAR race at Talladega, and having that exposure with our company and our beer there. So if you want to win tickets, we're going to give away some tickets to Talladega. But that's for shareholders. We're going to some shareholders are going to win some tickets to Talladega. So if you haven't, go to invest in the company. You can do so for $200. It's super easy. You can join our 10,000 plus strong shareholder community just by going to ownarmedforcesbrewingco.com. That's www.ownarmedforcesbrewingco.com and own this with us. Own this with us.
Grunt jerky, get it. Come down and get it.
Are we now the jerky boys? Remember the jerky boys? Anyway, look at this.
We're gonna start prank calling people. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. They were funny. I used to listen to them all the time. Anyway, look at that. Grunt. This stuff is awesome too. It's really good. Anyway, MP closing.
Episode 3, we just wrapped up. Tom Homan, Eddie Gallagher. Big things coming at all times for Armed Forces Brewing Company. See you guys next week. Peace.